Welcome to Choose Better Living, where we come together to talk about books and subjects that leave a deep and lasting echo in each of our memories. So Good They Can't Ignore You, written by Cal Newport and often translated as Be So Good They Can't Ignore You, is a thoughtful and compelling examination of the relationship between passion and work. At its core, the book challenges one of the most popular career beliefs of our time, the idea that the key to happiness and fulfillment is to find a job that perfectly matches your passion. Newport argues that this belief does not merely oversimplify reality, but can actively lead people toward instability, frustration, and disappointment. In fact, he suggests that telling people to follow their passion may be one of the worst pieces of career advice we regularly give. Rather than seeing passion as the starting point of a satisfying career, the book makes a far more counterintuitive claim. True satisfaction and long-term happiness at work often do not come from passion at all. Instead, they tend to emerge as a result of mastery, competence, and control earned over time. Passion, Newport argues, is frequently the outcome, not the cause, of meaningful work. In 2 sentences, the central message of So Good They Can't Ignore You can be captured like this. The book exposes a flaw behind a widely repeated advice to follow your passion, while showing that the career you truly want is built by becoming highly skilled at what you do, accumulating rare and valuable abilities, and gaining increasing control over your work and your time. It is particularly valuable for recent college graduates, people considering a job change, those who feel unhappy despite promotions or higher pay, and anyone who has not yet spent serious time creating something meaningful. To understand why this argument matters, the book begins by directly confronting what Newport calls a passion hypothesis. This hypothesis rests on a simple idea. First, you must identify what you are passionate about. Then, you should find a job that aligns perfectly with that passion. This belief has been repeated so often in modern American culture that many people accept it as obvious truth. Young adults are encouraged to admire those who boldly pursue their personal passions, while quietly feeling pity for anyone who chooses a stable or conventional path. In recent years, an even more radical version of the passion hypothesis has taken hold. This version dismisses traditional office jobs as inherently empty or meaningless and promotes the idea that real passion requires breaking away to do something independent or unconventional. The slogan, "Do what you love and the money will follow," has become an unofficial rule in career coaching and self-help culture. However, when you look more closely, the story becomes far more complicated. As Newport shows, the certainty behind this advice is extremely fragile. Once you examine real careers and real data, hidden risks begin to appear. Following your passion, rather than being a reliable guide, often turns out to be a dangerous strategy. To illustrate this point, Newport points to figures like Steve Jobs. If Jobs had decided early in life to pursue only what he loved, he might have ended up as a respected meditation teacher at the Los Altos Zen Center. That was, after all, one of his deepest interests. Instead, the creation of Apple computers did not come from a lifelong passion for consumer electronics. It emerged from a combination of opportunity, skill, and unexpected circumstances. The result was extraordinary, but it was not driven by passion in the way the popular narrative suggests. As you search for examples of people who truly built their careers by following a clear and pre-existing passion, you begin to realize how rare such cases are. Research consistently shows that only a small percentage of people have a passion that clearly aligns with a specific job. Some studies suggest that number is as low as 4%. If most people do not begin with a clear work-related passion, then the advice to follow becomes meaningless or even harmful. Passion also takes time to develop. The people who report the highest levels of happiness and enthusiasm in their work are rarely those who discover their passion early and followed it immediately. More often, they are people who have spent years building expertise and becoming exceptionally good at what they do. In this sense, passion is not a starting point, but a side effect of mastery. From a psychological perspective, research shows that people experience deep satisfaction at work when 3 needs are met: These needs are autonomy, competence, and connection with others. Passion does not appear on this list. Instead, it often emerges naturally once these conditions are fulfilled. When you feel skilled, trusted, and meaningfully connected, enjoyment follows. This is why the passion hypothesis is not just inaccurate, but actively dangerous. The more you obsess over whether you love what you do, the more aware you become of every frustration and flaw in your job. Over time, this mindset leads to dissatisfaction and constant job hopping. Telling someone to follow their passion may sound optimistic, but it can easily push them toward poor career decisions and long-term disappointment. For a small number of people, following a passion can work. But for most, building a satisfying career requires something far more reliable than passion alone. This realization leads directly to what the book presents as its second rule. Become so good at what you do that you cannot be ignored, a principle that reshapes the entire way we understand work and career building. Newport explains that there are two fundamentally different ways to approach your career. The first is the passion mindset, which focuses on what the job can give you. The second is the craftsman mindset, which focuses on what value you can create through your work. Although most people default to the passion mindset, it is the craftsman mindset that consistently leads to work people love. The craftsman mindset applies regardless of the job you hold. Its core question is not whether your work excites you, but how well you perform it. It emphasizes becoming so skilled and so valuable that you cannot be ignored. At its heart, this mindset is about contribution. It asks what you can offer to others, to your organization, or to the world. By contrast, the passion mindset centers on personal satisfaction. It constantly evaluates whether the job meets your expectations and fulfills your desires. Ironically, this focus often makes dissatisfaction worse. When you concentrate on what your work fails to give you, frustration grows. The craftsman mindset provides clarity. It replaces vague and unanswerable questions such as, "Who am I?" or "What do I truly love?" with a concrete goal. Become better at your craft. Improve your skills. Create value. As you do this, passion has a way of finding you. To adopt this mindset, Newport suggests letting go of the question of whether your current job is your passion. Instead, treat your work as if you're already a master in training. Focus on improvement, quality, and excellence. Over time, enjoyment and meaning begin to follow. This approach leads to what Newport calls career capital. Great jobs differ from average ones because they offer rare and valuable traits such as creativity, impact, and control. To gain access to these traits, you must have something equally rare and valuable to exchange. That exchange is made possible by your skills. Creativity allows you to shape and expand your field, as Ira Glass did in radio. Impact enables you to change how people live and think, as Steve Jobs did with technology. Control gives you freedom over your time and how you work, freeing you from rigid schedules. Most jobs do not offer these qualities in abundance, which is why they are so valuable. Basic economic principles apply here. If you want something rare and valuable, you must offer something rare and valuable in return. Building career capital through skill development is the only reliable way to do this. The craftsman mindset, with its relentless focus on excellence, is therefore far more effective than the passion mindset when the goal is meaningful work. However, Newport also acknowledges limits. The craftsman mindset does not work well in jobs where skill improvement makes little difference, where the work feels ethically wrong or harmful, or where you're forced to work closely with people you genuinely dislike. For those who choose to pursue mastery, becoming a true craftsman requires more than time alone. Research often cites 10,000 hours as a benchmark for expertise, but Newport emphasizes that quality matters more than quantity. What truly drives improvement is deliberate practice. This means pushing beyond comfort, attempting difficult tasks, and constantly seeking feedback. Musicians and chess players understand this well, but many knowledge workers never apply it to their careers. As skills accumulate, they create opportunities for greater control. This brings the discussion to the third major principle of the book, which focuses on autonomy. Research consistently shows that having control over what you do and how you do it increases engagement and satisfaction. Once you have built enough career capital, the next step is to invest it wisely, especially in gaining control. Yet control comes with traps. Seeking autonomy before you have sufficient skills leads to instability. On the other hand, even when you have earned the right to control, managers may resist. They may offer promotions, raises, or status instead, attempting to keep you within traditional structures. At this stage, Newport advises thinking small, but acting with long-term vision. A compelling mission can unify your career and give it meaning beyond a single role. A mission provides direction, energy, and purpose, helping you decide not just what job to take next, but how you want to shape your life. A mission requires patience and sustained effort. It demands looking beyond the surface of your job and committing to excellence over time. When done well, it becomes a foundation of a deeply satisfying career. In the end, So Good They Can't Ignore You offers reassurance to anyone who feels lost because they have not found their passion. You do not need to search endlessly for it. Instead, pour your energy into becoming exceptional at what you already do. Passion, meaning, and fulfillment are far more likely to emerge as a result of that commitment.